1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome back to 31 Days of Horror. Day number 5. We're going to take a little break from Resident Evil, and Honeybee is going to take over the show to discuss one of her favorite movies with her own special guest. So I will now turn the show over to Honeybee.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Honeybee, and today with me is a very special guest, my very own brother, and a very big fan of the show. Would you like a name on the show? Would you like to just use your name?
Sure, yeah, I go by Gus.
Cool. Augustus. This is my brother, Gus.
Hello, everyone.
I am so excited you're on the show. Also, I just want everyone to know this is Monster Movie Fun Time Go After Dark. What's up? Our first fully baked episode. Because, usually it's only a half-baked episode. All right, cheers to that. Today, we are going to be talking about, actually, kind of the Jeepers Creepers series, all of it, universe, question mark. There's 4 of them. If that surprises you, it should surprise
You're
you.
not alone, let me tell you. I didn't even know that there was 3 until the 4th one came out.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So, okay, there's 4 of them. The 4th one literally just came out, 2022. We actually went and saw it in a movie theater.
Yeah, it was rad. First time ever doing that. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool to see a Jeepers Creepers movie in the theaters. Well, first of all, we're super big fans, right? This movie came out in 2001. We can get some of this stuff out of the way. Jeepers Creepers, the first one, came out in 2001. It was starring Gina Phillips, Justin Long, Jonathan Breck was the creeper. He was actually the creeper 1, 2, and 3, which kind of surprised me, but he was.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. And then Eileen Brennan, Eileen Brennan is listed. I'm pretty sure she's Giselle. So yeah, it was directed by Victor Salva. This first one, the box office. Oh, let's see. The budget was $10 million, and the box office was $59.4 million. So yeah, that's great. Man, this movie. So what we're gonna do, since we did 4 movies, and we're just gonna do 1 episode. I figure instead of going through each plot like me and Precious usually do, we usually go through the Wikipedia plot and break it down. But since we're doing all 4 and we're only doing 1 episode, I thought to kind of save time, what we could do is just kind of go through our own notes and our own things through the first 2 movies, because those are so dear to our hearts, and then just kind of laugh about the 3rd and 4th movies and kind of talk about what we did what we didn't like, how the tie-in worked for us, and that sort of thing. So we're going to kind of, like I said, Monster Movie Fun Time Go After Dark. We're going to kind of do things a little off the rails today because I don't have adult supervision. Just kidding. Just kidding. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Do you remember the first time that you saw Jeepers Creepers, the first movie?
Oh, man. I am unsure. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times. I think the first 20 times probably blur together into the first time.
It's so true. Okay, I remember the first time because I was staying at the neighbor's house across the street. My best friend at the time, her name was Casey, and we were kind of super into horror movies at the time. It was getting into our thing. 2001, gosh, how old was I in 2001? I think we were 11, 10 or 11, So we rented this movie from Blockbuster. It was kind of maybe a few years later, like we may have been like 12 or 13. I can only imagine that her parents would not let us watch it that early. But we were in Casey's living room with her parents watching this fucking movie. And we're kids, man. And like we loved this movie so much that when other kids were playing like house and dolls and shit, like me and Casey were playing Jeepers Creepers. Like in my dad's like old beat up car out front, we were like, meh, meh. Like that was our shit, you know. We would pretend to like eat people's heads off of like, it was just so much, it was just, we're weird kids, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so this movie, this first movie is just like so it's a staple for me. I think like we've seen these movies so many times. We watch them often. We love them. This first movie, Justin Long. I love Justin Long so much. I just love this relationship, his like brother sister shit they have going on, the banter back and forth. It's just so good. I'd say my first question for you in this. Oh, no. First, I'm going to hit you guys with some trivia. Jeepers Creepers trivia, okay? I actually was looking into this, and it turns out that it's the first Jeepers Creepers movie was based on a true story.
Really?
Really, but okay, obviously it wasn't like some guy glued like bodies in a church, you know, it wasn't like that. But basically this brother and sister are traveling down this highway and they see a man throw a body behind a church, and it was wrapped and roped in a sheet with red stains on it. And so the guy throwing the body sees these people see him, this brother and sister, and he followed them. It's a whole like there was like a whole TV episode, Unsolved Mysteries episode or some shit about it. You can look it up, people. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah, I already saw the movie. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, so he only killed one person and it was his wife. But if you look at him and how they like made the creeper, like the drawings of the creeper, I'm like, wow, they really did kind of make him off at this dude, like just based on his facial structure. Okay, but my first question for you is, let's say we're in the car, brother, sister, driving down the road, and this thing happens. This guy's behind us. Burr, burr, go around me. Do you go back? We see him like throw the body, two of them in the movie, shink, shink down the tube. He like stops and gives them the fucking stare, and it's like, oh, shivers. And then he like, you know, scares them. So when they get off the road and they think about it and they're deciding, they're like going back and forth, like, what if it was you down there? Bullshit. And she's like, this is why girls are smarter. Like this whole situation, like, do you go back? Would you go back?
Oh, man. If I really thought that somebody was probably still alive, yeah, I probably would. It would definitely probably be against my better judgment, but I would like to think I would.
So do you go back and like look down the tube, Derry style? Or
I'd have a better flashlight, that'd be for sure.
That is true. You don't even, if you're listening to this, you don't even know this man and his flashlights. He would have a good flashlight. He would set
solve
the
all
whole.
the problems. Yeah. Nobody would fall down the tube. Everything would be fine. We'd see it, we'd leave, and that's all we need to know.
Credits. End of the movie. No, it's just like, man, it's such a hard thing for me to imagine. First of all, like being the truck and like being chased on the road and like all this, like it's just so scary. And then to go back and the church and the crows, it's just terrifying, right? I also want to say that Patricia, the girl who is Patricia, who was cast, I think, what was her name? Gina Phillips? Gina Phillips. Her screams throughout the movie are so amazing, like blood curdling, like it is scary movie. Like I just feel like in the audition, I've only auditioned for one movie in my entire life, but they were like, we need you to like scream and then we need you to like cry. And it was just kind of like, you know, that's like weird. And they're just like with a like camera, like, do it. And so I just imagine that they were like, all right, she like walks in, they're like, Gina, get her headshots, and like, we need you to scream. And she like does it, and they're like, oh, all right, give us another one of these. And like her screams are just so like scary movie perfect. Even when she's like scream yelling, Gina Phillips, she's got it.
Yes,
Okay, she got it. This first movie is so good. I feel like, well, what is your favorite? Is your favorite one or two?
You know, I probably have like more fondness, like just uh nostalgically of the first one, but the second one is definitely my favorite. Just like them like rolling around in the truck and like using the harpoon gun.
Oh, harpoon gun!
Oh man, yeah.
So
The
good.
guys chasing him after that was just so good. That one's so much like more my style, so I like that one more.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So going through the first movie, I would just say it really sets the scene for the second one, right? Like these first two movies are so good. Like we get the scary like truck. We get like what's weird about the connection between these movies, I feel like some of the things that connect the first one and the second one is there's like a psychic, or not even a psychic, but there's like some sort of psychic visions happening, right? In the first one we see is Giselle, and the second one her name is Minxie. We see Minxie. Yeah. They kind of have these visions, and we get the 23. I love how the first one and the second one are connected with Derry, Justin Long's character. Yeah. He's in Minxie's vision from the first film, and that ripped up shirt. It's such a beautiful moment because throughout the first film, we really fall in love with these two. I feel like Derry and Patricia, everything they're going through, they have so many things, like the lady with the cats and the two police officers. Like those are terrifying moments and scenes because there's nothing really makes sense about this Reaper guy, right? Yeah. They really don't know anything about it except this guy is following them. He's killed a lot of people. We do have a little bit of connection in the first and second movie, or in the first movie, really, about where they talk about their cousins who had been killed in a car accident on that highway like 20 years before. And so we kind of get that, like, okay, it's like 20 some odd years in between he gets to eat. But in the first movie, we don't get a lot of details about the creeper. And I think it so perfectly sets it up for the second one for us to get all of the details. Yeah. And they're so good, right? And in the first movie, so the creeper is the same guy. But in from the first movie to the second movie, we do kind of see him change a little bit.
Yeah. The first time you really see his face in the second one, where it's like a good close up, and it's noticeably different.
Yeah, totally.
It looks so much better.
It does. He looks kind of chalky or something in the first film.
Yeah, he's definitely got the whole like rotting skin thing going on in the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, he's a little fresher. It's a little fresher.
Man, I wish I was not taking a drink when you said that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he does. He looks wetter. Like he looks oiled up in the second one.
Squeaky clean. Squeaky
clean. It looks a lot better. But what really is so good is like just his smile. Like we get so much personality.
Yeah,
in the second one.
It really came into his role as the creeper in the second one. It like really played the creepy factor up. Oh, and it was so well done.
It's so good. And I have to know, I'm going to look and see what the budget was for the second one, because I remember correctly, the second one was filmed in an airport. And the whole movie takes place basically on a school bus.
Yeah,
super low budget. I have the page open. I'm going to just pop over to Jeepers Creepers 2 and take a look. We've got same director, same creeper. We got a few new characters. The budget was $17 million, and it says 63.1 to 120 million box office. So damn.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good in both of those categories.
Like, holy shit.
$15 million.
Yeah, I mean, really well, because it's all in that one. You get, that one little space, and the entire movie happens. And this is like crazy. This happens in theater too, where like if the show that you're doing only has so many people, or if the show that you're doing is only taking place in one spot, it just makes the dynamic so much more difficult to like hold the audience, right? To like hold people.
Definitely true.
Yeah, and so for them to like make this movie and it's all taking place on this fucking bus with these kids. Oh, so good. It's so good. So yeah, the first and second one, I would say, man, let's see. Is there anything else you want to say about the first one before we completely move on? I'm trying to think of anything too. I don't know. I don't think there's anything in particular. Oh, I would like to say that I didn't realize that the license plate on the truck was. I know this is stupid because I love the movie so much, but I thought it was beating you, but it's be eating you. Eating you, yeah.
Well,
And
that's why he gets doubles, because it's two different setups.
what do you mean?
When they're on the highway and they're like doing the license plate game, and then he's like, I got doubles on it. That's why, it's because it's two different setups.
Oh, nice.
And then like if it what is it? Is it the fourth one where they're like watching that little video?
Yes, which is exactly that like the thing that the first one was off of is like a little video like that.
And like they're even playing a license plate game, and he's like, I got doubles.
Yeah, and that is actually what the actual people were doing. The brother and sister, they were playing the license plate game.
Like, to make this movie so like realistically accurate to that, it's just a little weird. I mean, it works really well, but it's a little weird.
Do we love a good ripoff? Yes, we do on this show. Yes, we do. We do love a good ripoff,
Something else to talk about before we move on to 2 was the scene where he like does fall down the hole, and he's like in there and like under the church exploring and like seeing all these different things.
Yeah.
And then like he comes across his cousin and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like when he sees them, he immediately knows, and just
and
like,
we immediately know because we see the class ring. And they say in the car, like what class it was. And Patricia even says, like, I always, when that happened, I thought this was the highway I would die on. And it's like, oh, shit. Foreshadowing or not, because they just yank it right out from under us. But yeah, I would say something good, important to talk about in the first film before we move on, only because it is a tie-in, is how it ends, which we end at the police station. And the creeper has taken Derry, and Derry is in a room screaming in the dark, and the creeper takes his eyes. And that is how the movie ends, is like we see Derry's eyes, but creeper face through Derry's hollow ass body, which I ain't complaining. No, it is. Oh gosh, and that's how it fucking ends. Like there is no happy story. No one won. It was just like boom, ended. Yeah. So then, when the second one, we like start in this cornfield with old Mackie boy, and this dad, his 2 sons, the farm, the cornfield. This cornfield is so memorable and legendary. Like this legendary start to this film with this little boy. Like, damn, you gonna take the baby?
Ooh, man. Seeing him up there as the scarecrow, like, it's so prolific.
Oh, it's so good. Man, it's just his, like, scary ass fucking feet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Man, watching the kids, like, recognition in his face as he, like, realizes that it's not one of the family scarecrows. Like,
ooh,
oh, man.
Yes, and he just... this is one thing that I feel like we're lost in the third and fourth movie, is how fucking brutal the creeper was.
Yeah.
No survivors.
Yeah.
Didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Just fucking brutal. And there's something about like them kind of tweaking that and changing that in 3 and 4 that just kind of loses a little bit for me.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, he's the fucking, I don't know, he's one of my favorites, so I feel almost offended that they would like there's one, is it the third one where they kind of like let the little girl go? There's like two kids like alive in his truck. I'm like, bullshit, bruh. Like, no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
He would know. He would know. He smells their fear. Those people are pissing themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they are so terrified. He would immediately know, and that would be the end of it. Although, because of that, we do get a really cool scene where he gets a little injured. So his truck is not nice to everybody.
Yeah. Which in the first and second one, it's just a truck. Actually, in the second one, we never even see it.
Yeah.
Not even once. He's on foot. He's flying through the night. He's running through cornfields, snatching up white kids. Like, it's crazy. So we go, these kids, are they football players? Basketball players? I think they're football players, yeah. Sports
like
ball.
Some of the cheer team.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So they're like on a bus. They've like just gone to the championships.
Yep.
And they're like chanting this chant.
Which is hilarious because they lost. I think.
But
I'm pretty sure they lost. Or maybe that one dude just lost. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that they like won. I think they won, but he just didn't get enough playtime.
Oh, yeah.
Because she says you should see him when they lose. I can't keep him off of me. Because her friend is like, someone should go tell him that they won. And she's like, yeah, you should see when they lose. I can't keep him off me. But he doesn't even want to talk to her because he didn't get enough playtime. Because really, he's a racist little shit. He's a piece of shit. Okay, like, I'm not like, there's some things. If you've seen the movie, he's kind of a little shit. He's a little shit starter. Yeah, I really like the part where there's like this guy like stands up to him. They're like going back and forth. His name's Dante. He's this black kid, and Scotty is his name. He says, bro. And he says, you don't think I can tell, like, you really want to call me something else. I can see you thinking it. And he calls him out, and we have this moment, and it's a good moment. Because he says a lot of shit throughout the movie, like, maybe I don't have the right skin color for this team, or whatever. He's just like, and it's not true. Even when he says that to the coach is like, what a white coach, by the way, is like, what the fuck are you talking about, Scotty? Like, this is not the time for this, you little shit. Like, Scotty really is just like trying to be the center of attention. And like, it's not the time. People are flying away. Adults are getting snatched up. Like, it's crazy. So how these two movies tie in together, though, is we hear on the bus a little snippet of like, there's this church on fire. There's all these. So we realize at this point on the bus with these football players going that it's only a few days later.
Yeah, it's not very long at all.
Yeah, it's like in the same few days. So movie 1 just happened. And movie 2, which came out in 2003. Yeah, so just a few years later, it's the same few days.
Yeah, it feels like he like got a little full from his first meal, took a little siesta, and then went back for round 2.
Yeah, and he just like, took a snooze as a scarecrow. Just, oh, this is perfect. I'll blend right in.
Get it all out there.
No, it's so good. It's so good. We also, let's see, in the second movie, I was just going to say something. Oh, we get that scene where it's like him picking out all the kids. Oh. And it's like probably the best creeper moment by far, because we get his wink, his finger gun, his tongue action. We get all of it. His smile. And his smile is so leathery. When he smiles, it kind of like crinkles like leather. It's super hot. But the guy whose kid got like kidnapped in the beginning of the movie decides like it is going to be his sworn duty to make sure that this motherfucking creeper never creeps again, which is so important because it's probably one of the best endings to a movie ever. Sorry, my dog is like the loudest mouth breather, and she's just like breathing into the freaking, get out of here. Go on. Okay, so yeah, Glorious. Glorious. The movie's so good. The ending is, we talked about this at one point, like one of the best endings in movie history.
It really is.
Because it's just a dad, like, fighting for his kid, and he is sitting there waiting for this, like, 23 days.
Like,
Or, sorry, 23 years.
Just sitting there staring at him all day for who knows how long. Because when the kids who are up there, like, asking you if this is even real, because he's like, yeah, it's real. Should be along any time now.
Yeah, a couple day or two. So you know it's 23 years later. Oh, it's so good. So those movies. Something else we should talk about the second one that we didn't is the creeper. He is on foot, but he's also throwing these like creeper stars that are made out of bone and skin. We see Derry's belly button tattoo.
On the first one.
Teeth. I think so. And she's like, oh, what is that, a belly button?
Yeah.
So yeah, that becomes important later. There was some art in the first one, some creeper art in the church.
Yeah.
But it was so small and not like a lot. It's more in the second one on the weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
much more predominant.
Yeah. So the first and second movies come out 2001, 2003. And then we wait until 2017.
Which I didn't even know about. Somehow, I just never learned.
I actually found out in 2020 during the pandemic and watched it with a mutual friend of ours, which I thought then that it had just came out. I didn't realize that it came out until 2017 until we rewatched it. But it starts strong. We get like crows. There's some things. Okay. I know a lot of people hated the third one. I understand why. But there were things that I liked. That as a fan, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like when you're a fan of something like a band, and then they like put out a shit album, but you're like a true ass fan, so you're like, well, I'll just hold on for the next one. You know what I mean? You're not like, fuck them. They're sellouts. I'm never listening to them again because they had a bad album.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's like one track on there that's like still okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest isn't that great anymore, but we'll see about the next one.
And you're like a fan, so you're like, I support them. I want them to succeed, like whatever. It was kind of like that for me. Like I was like, yeah, everyone hates it. But
there's a lot of movies that I like that a lot of people don't. So I mean, it's not a big stretch for me to enjoy this one, which was like just not very highly acclaimed. By me. Apparently, I have like low standards or something. I don't know.
Well, okay, so it came out. Jeepers Creepers 3 came out in 2017. The budget was $6.2 million, which is half of
the original.
Yeah, and then it on the box office was 3.6 to 4 million.
Yeesh.
Wah, wah,
Did it have a box to show in theaters?
Yeah, I think it did the same thing as this one, where it did like a 3-day kind of thing.
I mean, I can't imagine. You would think that'd be like straight to home video or whatever.
It says whatever it was in 2017. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But I will say, okay, so the weirdest thing about the third one is the truck, right? Like, okay, that's not the weirdest thing. I thought the weirdest.
It's definitely up
there. It's up there. The truck all of a sudden has a mind of its own and is like part creeper or some shit, and it has like booby traps and like.
Yeah, so you kind of feel through like the series, especially the further you go into it, that there's some sort of like magical or mystical element here, some possibly like otherworldly. Nobody really understands it because like the only thing that's like that really in the first two are the two psychic girls.
Right.
And then like the third one though, it like really starts to show that like something else is going on here. Like he's got some sort of powers, and he's like imbuing his like equipment with these powers, like some of his weapons, his truck is obviously some sort of sentient something.
Dude, when he rides the truck off like a skateboard.
I absolutely LOL'd. Like, I just could not. That was one of the funniest things. And then he rides it off backwards over a hill. It was the funniest shit.
It's so funny. Like, he's standing on top of the truck and he's like doing the same. Like, there are just two people on the side of the road. He's like doing the same shit that he always does. He's trying to like scare him, like, you know, smell their fear, see what he wants to eat. And he just jumps on top of his truck and rides the whole truck like a skateboard down the road and then rides it back up to like scare these people. It was very, I'd like to say like, well, maybe it's because I'm an adult, but I also just feel like it was very much, it was just so much less scary.
Yeah.
I felt like the Creeper in general in 2017 compared to 2003 and 2001 Creeper, but it is the same guy. It is still the same director at this point. So I'm not really sure why.
I think what may have happened was that he set it up in a certain way to where the first movie he was just like showing you the Creeper, showing you that he's like dangerous and basically unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, you're like seeing who the Creeper is. Like you're getting all this like emotion and some backstory, and it's like kind of really filling in some of the blanks and like, you know, wonderings that you had from the first episode. And then the third one, he like pulls back even further, and now he's like showing some more of his world, like his truck being animated, and like, you know, some more of his lore.
We got to talk about, speaking of his lore, the severed hand. The severed hand, the grandma.
Oh man.
The grandma on the hill. How it's all connected, we find out to Kenny and Darla.
Yeah.
The grandma is Kenny's Luna. Stop it. Yeah, this is okay. The grandma shit and the talking to her like dead son and all this shit, like, cool, it was good. She did phenomenal. Also, can we talk about how hot she is? Dude, Granny.
She is a beautiful, crazy lady.
She is beautiful. Is it that she's crazy? Is that why I think she's so beautiful? Maybe. Those piercing blue eyes and those like...
Yeah, her face and her makeup, like the way they did her hair and her makeup and then just like her facial structure just really led to that like character of just like crazy old lady on the hilltop. Like,
yeah, just digging. Ugh, those dirty garden hands. Yeah. Yes.
It's like throwing the shovel pile, going at it.
Someone I want to build a home with. Okay, someone that I could really just build my homestead with. No, she's gorgeous, but it's really strange that I don't understand the severed hand. So basically there's this like hand that was like apparently his. So like the Creeper can eat whatever he wants and it just becomes a part of him. We see a really good part of this in the second one when he like loses his head. He like just eats another kid's head and then like shing, it turns into his head.
Yeah.
Like it's a really great scene.
The animation for that like changeover was really good.
It was so
seamless
good
for the time.
Oh God, it was so good for today. I felt like shit. Yeah. It was so good. I was shocked. But yeah, so why this severed hand? I don't understand why there's this like hand, that's like been left behind, that is like now trying. And also, so when these people touch the hand, they see something. We never get to see what they see, but it's like they see his lore,
his history, where he comes from.
Yeah, and they find out that he's ancient, which I love. That is part of the story that really holds to me and that I love, that he's just ancient, that every single 23 years, for 23 days, he gets to eat.
He's like a minor eldritch horror.
It's so good, dude.
And it's great that they like say it that way, of like saying that he's ancient and like giving him that like even more like mystical like disbelief of just like how he is. That he's just been around for untold millennia.
Yeah. It's so terrifying, and it's just like there's nothing you can do about it, and that's like one of the scary things, right? It's like the loss of control. Also, I think we forgot to mention that at the beginning of movie 3, 2017, we start the movie at the end of the first movie.
Yeah, how did we gloss over that? Yeah, this is a really crazy aspect for me is because I was really unsuspecting, especially not knowing anything about it. I went into the third movie blind, and it was like shocked that the third movie was actually the second movie in disguise. Nobody tells me nothing.
It's so true. Yeah, that's one of the things that I loved about the third movie and that I thought was so good. Like, yeah, there were things that I hated, right? Like the fucking severed hand thing. Like, I'm like, we could have done something different there, but something that I loved about it was the tie-in. We start at the end of, like, Derry has just been taken. Patricia is inside somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, that we have the same actors, the same police from the first movie, and it was such a good. So we go through the movie. I could really do without the love story in this third movie. The romance in this movie is just like not necessary at all. It was really lame, and I just wish they could have not done it. I'm just kind of tired of seeing like teenagers be in love. Like, not because I don't want teenagers to be in love. Like, I love, but it was just unnecessary. It didn't like bring anything to the story. It didn't. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was
I'm not
stupid.
really sure if it was just filler or if it was trying to just like add another dynamic to expand the world a little further. I don't know. It didn't work though.
It didn't work. The actors were great. They could have been friends.
Yeah.
I really like that in the first movie we have the Patricia Derry, brother sister, shout out, what's up? MMFT after dark, what's up? But then also that we have the second one where it's like football team and it's like bros. And like we have a little romance, but it's between Scotty and what's her face, and she's over his shit. You know she is. And so to bring it into the third one, I was like, why? Not necessary. So whatever. One of my favorite things about the third one. Is there anything you would like to say before we tie up the third one? Besides the fucking bullshit severed hand. That really fucks me. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up. It was just weird. The truck was enough. The survivors, and the severed hand were something about the
severed hand
third.
would be fine if it really led somewhere, because like they build you up with giving you the backstory, but then they never give you the backstory.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we saw all this shit, and then they like bring someone else, and they're like, you're gonna see all this shit, and then someone else is gonna see all this shit, and I'm like, can we see this shit?
Yeah, we never get to see this shit.
Like, I've been here since 2001, baby. I want to see what's happening, but no, we never get it. Which is kind of really frustrating, but also I was like, okay, whatever. I did not. No, okay, so wait. So tying in the third one, one of my favorite things, and why by the end of the third one, I was like, okay, fine, was how they tied it in with the football team and the bus. So these two kids throughout the whole movie have their stupid little fucking romance bullshit. The creeper. Oh, I survived. Blah, 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 blah. And then like we get to the end and he's going to the state championships. And it turns out he's one of the guys on the bus, which of course the second movie's already out. We know that he's not actually one of the guys on the bus because we know all those guys already. And we watched that movie. Literally, we know the dialogue. Like, actually, right now, if we just, like, start with the first movie, we could probably do the whole thing. Like, dialogue and everything. Number 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, they're really good. We know them so well. But I really loved how they just made it. You realize it's the same few days.
Yeah.
It's still, these 3 movies have taken place in his 123 years at the very end of it. And the second movie, like you said, is actually like the third movie.
Yep.
And dad is just waiting there with the sawed-off shotgun, waiting to like take this mother out. You know?
I mean, I'm a little sad that the fourth one didn't pick up there.
I mean,
I
it's my first problem with it, in fact.
Because it was the second movie, I expected the third movie to pick up from there.
Mm-hmm.
And when it didn't, I was like, okay. And we watched it, I was like, okay, I kind of liked how that tied in. And okay, so what's the fourth one going to be? It's going to be him, like, waking up on that wall, right?
No.
No.
We have been waiting for since 2003, basically 23 years. Yeah. Basically 20 years. No, that we have been like, seriously, that was the best ending to a movie ever. It was like literally him on that wall, like just like waiting, and those kids paying like $5 to come and see him. And then when we start the last movie, or I'm sorry, the third movie, and it doesn't start there and you're disappointed, but then at the end you're like, oh shit, that's why we didn't start there. Because, like, basically at the end of the third movie, they're going into the second movie.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
I never expected there to be a fourth. I like heard rumors of like a fourth. Because we watched the fourth in a movie theater, I didn't get to like really take notes. But I do know that after we went and watched this movie, we wanted to talk shit so bad.
So bad.
We wanted to talk about it so bad, but we really couldn't because we wanted to save it for the show. But we didn't really get to take notes. So we're just going to like pretty much talk about some things about the fourth one, which, mind you, it is now the next 23 years. Yeah, this is the next generation's Jeepers Creepers. This is, I feel like I want to be honored to pass that torch. And for all of these like Gen Zs to now be scared and slaughtered by my favorite, like, just like my generation was. But I don't know, man. I'm bummed. I don't understand a lot of things, but there are things that I wanted to ask to see if you, like, had noticed. And, like, okay, they try to add some, like, weird voodoo bullshit in the fourth one, right?
Yes.
Which I didn't understand. Did you get this? Why are there people? The creeper don't need people. He don't need nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like a group of like worshipers or handlers. I don't really know. There's like a part of it that makes me wonder if they're like controlling him. It's so weird. It's really confusing. It doesn't really explain it, and it just like kind of like really just makes you wonder throughout the whole movie what's really happening, because he hasn't had any of this before.
Yeah,
and he's like this like ancient like evil creature. Like, what does he, like, need these people for? He eats other people for power. Why does he need these people who he doesn't eat?
Yeah, it was super strange. So we did go and see it in theaters. There isn't a Wikipedia for it yet because it just came out, like, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was real recent.
Very, very recently.
It's good timing, though.
Totally. And, but a new guy played the creeper. This guy's name is Jarreau Benjamin. Gorgeous. Just get a look-see.
Wow.
Yeah. So he played the creeper instead of Mr. Beck. Breck. Jonathan Breck played him in first, second, and third. And there was also a new director. The director was Timo Vorensola, which he actually at the beginning of the movie gave us this like personal message, like, "Hey, you guys made it to the theater to see this movie, and I love this movie as a kid, and I wanted this movie to be, and love you guys. I'm so glad you get to experience the creeper in the theater." And we were like, yeah, we had our popcorn and we did our things. I think I lost my debit card. It was like a whole night. We made a whole night of it. And the voodoo people right out the gate fucked it up for me. I was really upset. Like, I was upset with the third one. We watched all four movies in a matter of 24 hours also, because we were just like, and like about it. So to like just see how he kind of like he doesn't need people. The truck, and it just like kind of felt like as time went on, the creeper got less and less scary. And maybe that's because I'm too old for this generation's horror. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so,
I
but
think the scene in the bus where he's like picking people out is like that like genuine creepy crawly feeling that you have, like where the hair stands up on your arms. Like this is fucking creepy.
this is
Like,
scary.
you don't really get that in the third and fourth one
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. So then they kind of even make it even more cheap by putting these people in this house.
Yeah, I
Like a
think they
scare
wanted to
house?
like recreate that like feeling from the second movie where they're like stuck in the bus, and they wanted this like claustrophobic effect, but it really just
Didn't work
get
for
that,
me.
No.
Yeah. It was a real bummer. So when we go, there's this point where we see this like voodoo room.
There's some sort of like shrine to him.
Uh-huh. You remember, did you see Derry's voodoo doll?
I did, yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. So they even tie in like the first movie into that, like, you know, and we do see him, they've completely redone the creeper.
Yeah.
He's a different guy, but he's also completely like the movie's called Reborn. So I guess you could say he's reborn.
Yeah, there's some aspects of his like appearance that are pretty similar,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about as close as you could say that he looks the same because he's pretty well changed.
Yeah, he is very, very, very different, which I'm okay with.
I'm cool with it. I feel like for like such an ancient creature, he probably doesn't change too much,
Yeah.
but he didn't change enough. Like they didn't like give him two heads or something. So that I think he probably is like close enough. To
Yeah.
the original
Yeah,
design.
totally. I thought that it was great that they like were redoing it. I was excited to see him. I thought he looked great. I like the guy's movements were really good. I felt like from 2 to 3, I feel like Mr. Brett kind of lost the creeper movement of how scary he was. In like the first and second one, he was so scary, and in the third one, he kind of got silly a little bit. Like he got a little too much personality. He was a little. That's totally personal creeper preferences.
Well, 15 years old, do that.
So true.
I mean, I don't think anybody expected that one to get made, so they probably forgot what they were doing.
Oh shit, that's so funny. Yeah, and 15 years on your body, you're just like you're not the same.
Not the same supine individual that you once were.
Yeah,
Crawling around on buses, scared of children.
Yeah, man. So I really there's not really much good I have to say about the fourth one except for like the guy who did the creeper. I did like his take on the movement, how he went back to scary.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. I want to like more about the fourth one. I just need to see it more often.
I liked some of the aspect of how like the kid what is the main character's name?
Which one? In which?
The fourth one.
Oh shit! I don't fucking know.
So it's like this guy and his girlfriend. He's like dragging her to this like spooky con or Halloween.
Yeah,
con
he like wants to
something.
cosplay, and she's like
Yeah.
totally not into it.
Yeah, and he knows everything about the creeper. He
Yeah.
knows the original story. He knows about the cousin who got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and like he knows about all kinds of wild stuff. And he is like a genuine like. Lost what I was saying.
You're talking about the main character. He's a genuine creeper fan. He knows everything about the creeper.
Bro.
Shit.
Sorry, Precious. Man. Love the show. Long time listener, first time caller. Oh, shit.
Long time listener, first time caller. Oh, that one got me. Shit. Hell yeah. Well, I think what you were gonna say, or what you were saying, was the guy was such a genuine Creeper fan. Like he knew everything there was to know about him
Yeah,
and all of those things. I don't know, man. So, what do you say about the entire series? How many pumpkins are you gonna give Jeepers Creepers?
You know, even though the third one wasn't what I was hoping for, and even though the fourth one is a bit of a laughing stock, I legitimately laughed more than I was terrified by any measure
Yeah.
in the third and the fourth one, like quite a bit. But even though I just laughed the whole movie, I just loved every minute of it. Like being able to like see the creeper on the big screen was such a big deal for me. And even though it was just really goofy, it was just really great to like see that portrayal in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
And like I really support like the changes that can happen through like directive vision and like new actors like portrayals of these characters.
Totally.
You know, I love to see that type of stuff. And so I really enjoyed the third and the fourth one. Not quite as much as the first and the second one, but it's pretty well up there for me.
Hell yeah.
And seeing as like the original two are just like such like timeless classics for me.
Totally.
Man,
Creeper for life.
yes.
I really want a Jeepers Creepers, like probably like Jeepers Creepers 2 portrait.
Oof.
Like some sort of black and gray portrait. Because I just love. He is definitely a staple for me in horror, in like and I just, man, like it's scary. Those first two movies are scary. I don't know if we said this, but at the end of the third one, I just remembered this. We see Patricia again at the end of the third one, and she says she's gonna like avenge her brother.
Oh yeah.
And that nothing happens in the fourth, which was also another disappointment. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a chance. There's gonna be 2 more movies apparently. They totally rebooted, like reborn. It's the next 23 years. I'll watch every single one of them, no matter how bad they are.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, did you say how many pumpkins?
Yeah, so I want to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
But I feel like the last two kind of bring it down to a 4.
Okay, that's still really great.
I love them to death. They're one of my favorite series, which I didn't know was a series until like a couple minutes ago. I just thought it was a couple of good movies. But,
yeah, I like asked if you wanted to do this, and I'm like, yeah, wait. And then like the fourth one is going to be in theaters Monday, and you were like, fourth one? Like, wait. There's a third one? And I'm like, yeah, totally. Oh my God, we're going to do
it. It was a shock. It was a glorious, so delightful shock.
So good. Yeah. So four pumpkins for Jeepers Creepers.
Solid pumpkins.
Solid. Yeah, it's really hard for me because if it was just 1 and 2, I'd for sure be like 5.
Oh, 5
all the way 5. But 3 and 4 is like just chipping away at that. Yeah. Like I said, there are some things like I could really like, okay, 3 and then 4. Like I said, I'm not mad. Like I'm a fan. So you can put out a few bad albums. I'm still gonna love you. Like I'm a fan. Like I feel like you
can really see how much of a fan the new director is.
Totally.
Like he is legitimately like one of us, like true believers of the Creeper. And so I love that he is getting to be able to do a trilogy. So hopefully they progress in a very good way.
Yeah.
To where we like get to see more of that like classic Creeper stuff, and with just like this new twist of a new vision. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited for that.
I am too. I am really excited, even though like I didn't think they were as good. I will forever give the Creeper a chance because he's just like in my heart.
I mean, even though the fourth one is what it is. They're all so good to me that I would buy them all.
Yeah. And watch them and laugh at like, oh, this is so fucking stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, love it. Totally awesome, dude. Thank you so much for being here. I am so glad you're here.
I finally got to make it on the show.
Yeah. This is my brother. He listens to every episode. He always tells me like when things work and when they don't. And yeah, I'm so excited that now you get to be a part of it and you're going to listen to your episode and like, woo, yeah. And like know what it's like to be in this tiny box that all of you are listening to. Thank you, all of our listeners. Do you like Jeepers Creepers? Did you grow up with Jeepers Creepers? Was it like your 2001 nightmares? Did you watch the third one? Did you know there was a third one? Did you know there was a fourth one? Please let us know at Monster Movie Fun Time Go / I don't know. He says it every episode. You would think that I know it. I love you so much, Precious. I'm so sorry. I should really know it. But like I said, this is the Monster Movie Fun Time Go After Dark episode. So yeah, I hope maybe there will be more at some point. Maybe our next 31 Days of Horror. I'm so glad you came. So glad we got to do this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, totally. Jeepers Creepers, y'all.
Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those creepers? Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Thank you guys so much for listening. Please rate and review us. Follow us on all of the things. I love you guys. I'm so happy you're here for this day, insert day here of horror, 31 days. Please join us tomorrow for more days of horror. Yeah, so we will not see you, but you will hear us next week or tomorrow on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/MMFTG.
Sorry about that, Precious. I love you so much. If you're listening or editing this later, I love you and I appreciate you so much. But yeah, so shit, I lost my train of thought. 1 second.